The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke, and this is where we explore a return to a more natural, balanced, and wild world.
That's right, Paige, to regain our rights and freedoms and get our health back. And I'm Nico and Haan.
And it is a beautiful day here in beautiful downtown Clearwater, 61 degrees. Not too cold yet, but we'll find out when it's coming.
Yeah, about next week, I said, but it's just perfect here in the 60s at night and maybe 79 to 82 during the day, so that's great.
Make sure you pick up some of our Primal Edge.
Yeah.
Daily nutrition, good stuff. 310 organic cell-ready liquid nutrition that helps the good stuff come in your cells.
And the bad stuff come out. And, of course, we're taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. And we have a special guest, don't we, today?
We do. This is an exciting day. As I said last show, we have David DuByne of Adapt 2030, who is on the line with us. We're going to talk a little bit about the coming GrandSolarMinimum. Those of you that have been tuned into our show know that we feature that pretty much every week with David's updates and some exciting other projects that David has coming. David, are you out there?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning, David. How you doing?
All right. In Taipei, Taiwan. Just was flying this morning from Yangon in Myanmar, and I'm back in Taipei. So ready to go here. I have some great ideas, and we'll get some updates. So by the end of the show, hopefully everybody will have at least a game plan where we're moving with the GrandSolarMinimum and how cryptocurrency winds right into all the changes we're about to see.
Well, this is wonderful because we are a financial news network, and many of our listeners are trading and knowing that there's a way to transition. It sounds like you've got some great solutions, and I'm so glad for you to meet Nico, because if it wasn't for Nico, he's the one that introduced me to your work, and we've just been avid followers, and we thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, David, I got you through the Suspicious Observer, listening to you on some of the fly-on-the-wall things, and that's when I really started digging into this GrandSolarMinimum, and that's what I want to bring to my clients. So I think the first part of this should be about the GrandSolarMinimum and why we think it's coming, and then the rest of it will be going into the cryptocurrency, if that's good with you.
Yeah, because we hope to have you back so we can all learn from this, because you were cutting edge. Tell us what's going on with the world today.
Well, it's all about sharing information and ideas moving forward with this. And the first thing I really need to say is it's about working together, because they found through these last GrandSolarMinimums, the last 5, the communities that worked together were the ones that were the most prosperous during the time when other things were falling apart, when people were trying to go solo, and whatever they did at the time, the communities that worked together had the best lives during those changes when the crops were not coming in, that the yields they previously had. When the animals weren't around that they were, because they had been all eaten and there was not enough food to feed the animals. It's all about using the skill set in the groups of people you know and all working together, and now we'll start it with that. If you have any questions, I'd like to answer, because you're familiar with what the GrandSolarMinimum is.
Yeah, I am. I'm not sure all my listeners are, so I'd like to start with why we think this is coming now.
Well, if you look back in history, and specifically GISP ice cores, this is the same data set that the IPCC uses to try to prove global warming. IPCC says that CO2 drives our climate. I differ, and the climate records for the last 100,000 years differ and say it's driven by the sun. And these cycles come on a 400-year repetitive cycle, and sometimes they overlap, and you get heavier cycles on top of cycles. So this time they really believe we're coming into something maybe on a 800 or some kind of cyclical pattern multiplied by 400 years. But for sure, it's back right now. You start to see the changes in the weather. It's happening much faster and much more intense than anything that CO2 could produce, and it's all because of our wandering jet streams and the effects from our sun on the magnetosphere And what you've seen so far in weather changes is nothing compared to what's coming up over these next couple years. And that's where we get into the crop losses and the yield reductions, and that's why food is going to get so expensive.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, because those growing seasons, it's really hard to, especially in our modern civilization, to kind of move those things 400 miles south.
You cannot. That's literally impossible. You'll have to start substituting crops. So if the wheat goes offline 45 north and above or 45 south and below, we're going to have to substitute that wheat with something.
Right.
And sure, you can substitute soy or rice, but then there's going to be such a drawdown on those as well. That'll drive price. And then where do we go when we actually draw down all the supplies for grains or edibles across the planet and there's nothing left, but there's still demand? Then what happens? We need to innovate solutions, indoor growing, and this is where we need to come together to compare ideas moving forward with solutions to this problem.
That's fascinating information, David, and it sounds to me, you being over in Asia, and it sounds like other parts of the world are actually maybe a little bit more up to speed on getting prepared. I think you were sharing some information with me of what's going on over in Russia and Asia. So it is time to get on the bandwagon and pay attention, right?
Well, one thing that they're doing over here, they've developed a new strain of rice that grows in brackish saltwater. So what they want to try to do is reclaim some of these salt land brackish areas that currently cannot grow rice, but now can in the future. And it has about 4.5 tons per acre yield. So they're thinking about solutions over here well ahead of what we're doing back in the States, at least. They're thinking optimal growing in areas that can't be grown. They found a solution to grow more food in an area that literally could not be grown until this year. This is the way we need to think.
Yeah, and one of the things, of course, over in China, you've had so many of those dynasties that have fallen, and they keep really immaculate records of that, while here in the United States, we're barely 250 years old, and we don't have that.
Yeah, that's true, and that's what I do, is I map out a lot of cyclical history as well, and you can go back to the Roman Empire, you can go back to the Assyrians, you can go back to any society that you like through history, including the South American empires, the Incas, the Mayans, which we're familiar with. They all collapsed in these grand solar minimums, and the very end of the Roman Empire was actually done in by the late antique little ice age around 535. So when you go back through history, every time you see a collapse of a Chinese dynasty, that's why through history, and you can check this, I hope you can try to do your own research on this. Don't listen to just what I say. I encourage you to do your own research. Yeah. There's never been a Chinese dynasty that lasted longer than 400 years, period, ever.
Wow. And
you need to ask yourself why. The food's not there. The climate system's out of whack. There's droughts, there's no food, and people riot when there's no food. They're very angry. So let's say the deity has no longer given rulership rights to the emperor because, well, the food failed, so it's time to change the emperor. And when they do, well, it takes about 20, 30 years, and the grand solar minimum ends, and then guess what? The food's back again. The new ruler takes over, abundant food crops, and then 400 years later, it happens again. It's a short cycle. It's only going to last about 20 years maximum starting now, so by 2035, we'll already be out of it.
So it's not like this is going to be a complete ice age where from New York north it's going to be a mile high. It's going to be something different, something less severe. But let's talk about that when we get back from the break. Folks, I want to remind you to pick up my Health Signals newsletter. This is the time to do it. Get all this information. Of course, all the information that Dave is talking about is going to be in there for the next couple of issues. So we'll be right back.
Be right back, David.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Living a Primal Lifestyle. We have our special guest, David DuByne from Adapt 2030. I want to remind people, if you can see on the telestrator, you can follow David and support his very valuable work at Patreon at Adapt 2030. And follow him also at his website, oilseedcrops.org. And David, so we were talking a little bit about what's going on. Paint a picture for middle American average Jane and Joe in the next couple of years. What's the weather going to be like? Give us a little picture of what that might look like.
Well, the seasons will be out of flux, if you will. You'll start to get incredible cold and snow events far above what we normally see. And when you see a snow record being broken by 5 times, you know, that's something unusual. Or rain records being eclipsed all time since they've kept records. These types of things. Excuse the city sounds. I wasn't able to make it to my destination before my recording here.
That sounds good. We can't hear it too much.
Okay. The weather is going to start to get a little bit cooler and snowier in a bit before what you're used to right now when winter sets in, and then it'll last a little bit longer. But what's for the average person to be aware of is our growing seasons are not going to be stable any longer for the food production, which means everybody globally is going to be paying more for food. And our analysis puts the food pricing between double and triple by the end of 2018. So everything you're going to buy is going to be at least double price by the end of next year based on what the carryover stocks were for wheat already. It was down 25 million bushels, and they're not even nothing's all tallied yet. So when we're looking at these kind of losses, for sure there's going to be price drives, and even the CME was putting out, I think, $525 for 2018. So food is going to go up, and that's a main concern for people is when your food costs more, it draws down from the greater consumer spending economy. If you're spending triple for food, you're going to stop going to movies. You're going to stop buying phones, TVs. You're not going to buy a motorbike or whatever you do. You might limit your holiday spending. There's a lot of things that the mom and pop, the average daily investor, just the average person on the street needs to think about. You're not going to freeze to death in your house during the grand solar minimum, but the knock-on effects for the food and when it costs more and the knock-on effects in the economy, this is what people really need to get ready for. And when we look out at 2023, this is where the actual shortages are, where I don't care how much money you're going to have, there's going to not be available supply, even if you have money to pay for it. You're going to have limited supply, limited choice as we go forward. So that's another thing to look for. Things that are imported across the ocean, that's going to cease, I do believe. And just choices themselves are going to dwindle down into a small handful.
Yeah, and when we talk about the food, we're mainly talking about these crops, these large crops like wheat and rice and things like that. Imagine people that are eating a lot of meat and things like that. That is going to be less and less as they go because they're being fed by those things.
And it's going to make it more expensive because it's harder to feed them.
Yeah.
Right. It's just going to be a big snowball effect. No pun intended, snowball.
Yeah.
So can we look back in history real quick?
Okay.
Since you said that, in the 1600s, what had happened was the crops weren't coming in, so they started to eat the animals. And then once the traditional livestock and kind of things we would consider normal on a farm, chickens, pigs, goats, cows, whatever, those were all eaten out, literally. So then they went to the forest, and once they hunted out the forest, there was no more meat available in a protein source such as we're used to today. And then the crops didn't come in, and they were eating grass, and then they turned to cannibalism later on because they just literally ran out of food, where they got so hungry. And these were the communities that were not working together. These were the very isolated and kind of the more spread out communities where it was one or two families trying to grow their own sustenance and then try to trade to a town 20 miles away. Back then, you know, that's a long way, 20 miles, 400 years ago.
Yeah, I would imagine that if you're living out in the country, you might feel a little bit better than if you're in New York City or Chicago or someplace like that when this hits.
Well, that's with any kind of scenario where you're talking about mass migrations and shortages coming into supermarkets and this just-in-time delivery system. That's also another contentious issue because it revolves on credit. So if the food is costing 3 times or even double, let's use double, the credit, what if it locks up somewhere along in the delivery chain of this just-in-time delivery?
Mm-hmm. Right. That's really what's concerned about. You're having stuff shipped from company to company, from country to country, and if you're don't have faith in the currency that your government or the local banks have, then you're going to come up with something else, and that's what we see now happening with Bitcoin and all these other things that you're just starting to talk about, really.
Yeah, that's true. Imagine that's why I originally got into cryptocurrency was the smart contract aspect of our grain crops. Are you going to send 60,000 tons of wheat on a delivery across the ocean that may take 30 days? When it arrives, you don't even know if those banks will be functioning.
Right.
We're going to have to think of a different payment system, right? So
yeah.
Coming down into smart contracts is the perfect way, and that's really what led me into looking into cryptocurrency and how these two are really intertwined, the GrandSolarMinimum and different payment methods moving forward.
And I think that's fascinating because you're going to tell us a little bit more shortly about some of the projects that you're involved in bringing the smart contracts and the blockchain into this world. You know, we've got good information many of our traders may know. CMEs, there's going to be Bitcoin futures here, and that's really kind of driving a lot of their... I think we've seen a lot of excitement in the cryptocurrency world. Bitcoin hit over 11,000 in the last couple of days. And how much of that do you think might be as a result of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, you know, going to be offering Bitcoin futures? What do you think about that?
Well, I think a lot of it is driven by that because for them to start the futures, they have to get the underlier. Mm-hmm. So if you want to say literally physical Bitcoin, they need to be purchasing out. So when you look at the order books, we saw some 800 lots were just scooped up in a second.
Right.
Who's buying 800 lots on Bitcoin like that? It's an institutional buyer, and we think they've been clearing order books because we saw Ether at 8,000 lot go through in a second too. So somebody's buying large volume out there. They're going to need the underlier to make these futures move forward. So we also talked about this. Is somebody going to try to corner the market like the Hunt brothers did with silver in the 70s? Because there's only a finite amount of Bitcoin. It's literally a finite amount. So if there's enough money out there, can they scoop in even at a tenth of Bitcoin and just drain that order book and just keep buying and buying, buying? But a lot of that price movement is definitely somebody on the institutional side buying the underlier so they can launch these futures.
That's right, and I think that there's going to be a lot of excitement. When does that actually happen? What, the 11th of December? Is that when that really kicks off? Somewhere in there?
Supposedly. Mm-hmm. And the volatility really, you know, I heard your last person, the last guest was talking about volatility. It swung from 11,000 down to 9,000. You literally can't have that if you're going to use it for payment. Amazon is talking about launching Bitcoin payments in 2018, and one of the reasons they're going to use Bitcoin futures is they're going to sell short so they can reduce that volatility. It's all about the risk mitigation. So this allows somebody to go short. So if we get these giant wild swings, they can cover that, and it pretty much stabilizes the price.
Well, this is fascinating stuff, and I think that we're going to jump into some of that after we have this short break.
Yep.
And what you've shared with me, and I've really enjoyed, I've just learned so much, is that really we need the blockchain, good, bad, or ugly, or whatever you think about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, it's coming. And it may actually be a big player in this collaborative environment that you're stating we're going to need, not just to thrive, but possibly to survive. Right, David?
I would agree wholeheartedly with that.
Okay.
We're up to a break, so let's continue this right after the break, and remind people to pick up our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder. It's 310 cell-ready ingredients to make you healthy, get the good stuff in, and let the bad stuff get out. So we'll be right back.
Be right back.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. Now we're speaking with David DuByne. He's in China right now, and he, of course, is founder of the website Adapt 2030. Now, I want to mention that when we come back from the next break, we're going to be showing this little video, What is Ancoris? And this is a company that David is involved with, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, that's right. And David, just, you know, we want to help our people know how they can get a piece of the action and how. And Chorus is a market leader in helping to fractionalize assets with cryptocurrency. Tell us what's going on, David, with this company.
Well, we're still in the ICO stage at the moment. We launched on November 25th, and this will also give you direct access to Bitcoin futures through the CME. We're the filling broker, and if you are trading, some people are using bots. If you're on the institutional level, you can plug an API in there and you can get the front end that you like and use. But it does give direct access to the Bitcoin futures that everybody is so hot on right now, and that's one of the things that we saw as being, this is going to lead the market. And all the prices that you're going to see from now on with cryptocurrency, since Bitcoin futures will rise so much, everything else is going to rise as well. This ocean, the tides rise all ships. This is truly, truly the case of anything happening. So we wanted to be able to allow anybody to participate in the market, because when you start to look, let's go into traditional equities, you want to get a share of Amazon, you need to pay $1,000. Well, we're trying to fractionalize that so anybody can come in and even get a $10 fraction of those shares, because us being a filling broker, we're able to buy those and hold as the custodian. So this is a game changer to allow cryptocurrency from one swap right over into traditional equities and securities, and then back out again into crypto, which you cannot do today. It takes so much time to go. Let's say we were going to do a traditional loop of your money. Let's say you want to go from Poloniex, and then you sell it out, and you're going to have to transfer somewhere along the way, probably back to Coinbase, and then exit that into your bank account. Then you'll have to wire transfer that over to wherever you trade, and then you're going to have to make the orders, and then finally you can get filled somewhere weeks later. Or you can just make one single transaction and just slide across. Crypto to equities and equities to crypto, literally that fast and easy.
It's fascinating. I'm trying to find on our screen here, there's on the website, if you visit anchorus.org, you'll see a nice graphical representation of how streamlined it is, because that is the big thing. Even just going from dollars to cryptocurrencies, it's, you know, for some people it's a little bit of a technology challenge, but then going between that and going in and out of the market, this is going to provide seamlessness to, and as you said, make the opportunity to own a little fraction of Berkshire Hathaway or something a reality for people. And I think this is going to be a fascinating game changer, and it really is becoming the bridge to the new world of blockchain technology and traditional finance. Very cool.
Yeah, and I'll add a thought in there. I know a lot of blockchain purists are unhappy with what we're doing because we're bringing institutional money in. We're trying to bring the institutional side in. It really needs regulation anyway. It's so wild westy out there, and people are getting burnt left, right, and center. And the crypto space in general sort of has a dark side reputation to it. But this needs to be cleaned up, and I firmly believe that it does need regulation. And everybody's like, oh, it needs to be so deregulated. And then as soon as they get burnt, they're like, oh, who can I call to get my money back? Well,
right.
I'm sorry, it wasn't regulated, so you're out, you're out. And then they complain, but then they still want to stay so deregulated, but it's just not. Decentralized, it's good in theory.
You know, you take a look at this graph. I don't know if you can see it. You know, we've got a picture from the website. It really shows the size of the trading market, whether it be, other currencies, bonds, equities, energy, gold, and so forth. It's $1 trillion market, and so now it's really merging these two growth areas. I think it's going to be really something everyone wants to take a look at. And tell our listeners a little bit more about what's going on now. You mentioned it's in an ICO stage, but and so there's some advantage to getting involved with Anchorus right now, correct?
Yes, because these tokens that we're going to be issuing right now will be used on the trading platform to execute trades as well, to pay for the trades, the commission on the trades. So that's one of the reasons that we were launching this ICO, so we could get the platform built, get all the front ends, and yeah, so we can have an available token supply for people to actually do these transactions. We want to be profitable and plan to be profitable year number one, and that's very rare for ICOs to say that they're going to actually be profitable in the first year of operation. Most of them are just raising money so they can even build a product before they start trying to do anything with it out in the marketplace.
You know, my confusion about this whole thing, because it's really new to me, and I listened to Tom talking about it, I listened to my partner here talking about cryptocurrency, and I'm always wondering, how do we exchange this thing? What if the lights go out and there, you know, during a grand solar minimum, no electricity, and now you have your bitcoins on your hard drive, but you don't really have anything physical? You talk about physical bitcoins. Are there actually going to be coins that people collect?
Well, I don't mean literally physical bitcoins, but that's what would be the representation of
Right.
it. The Bitcoin you can buy on the market compared to what a future paper Bitcoin would be in the derivatives.
Now, what about banks? Now, are the banks going to get pissed off on this? I mean, are they going to be in direct competition, or are the banks going to get involved themselves?
That's one of our main priorities, is to go around the banks and not include them. We don't
Right.
need banks any longer. We feel the fees are unfair. What they do with our money, the way they operate, you have no insurance. The laws have been written that the bank actually owns your money. You're lending the bank your money. That's not fair.
Right.
The banks today are part of the problem that we feel.
Right. Yeah, I see that too. And of course, the countries are, you know, we used to think that the U.S. dollar belonged to the U.S. government, but now we know it belongs to the Federal Reserve, a private company. And that's what you're kind of talking about. These private companies are kind of ruling everything, and we're going to try to skirt around them through this Bitcoin.
We're taking our money back, our control of our money, our control of our wealth, our sovereign abilities. And I think this is a great way, what the project of Van Course is actually bridging this so that the average person can be involved in both of these moves. You know, you want to catch a wave. I told you that the other day, David. You know, you don't want to be behind the wave, you want to be on the top of the wave. And I think that what you're involved in is really going to change the face of trading. For people today. I mean, for the average trader today, it's really a picture of two worlds. And with this tool, and you're right, right, I have a lot of my people that I talk with in cryptocurrencies that really focus on the fact that it's decentralized and they like it that way. It's a little bit on that renegade side, but what you're saying is let's find a marriage here on some parts of it by merging the financial control of SEC registration and so forth. Give us a couple of things that some of these people who are in the market every day would want to know about Encourse. Just give them a couple bullet points.
Well, insurance. We're insured because it's overseen by the SEC with SIPC insurance. That's one of the big things. Are you going to take your institutional and your client money in there and roll it into some exchange that's uninsured where it could disappear or there could be a hack? You're out of a job if you do that. So mainly everybody's looking for insurance and also culpability, somebody to call or an agency that at least can arbitrate if something does go wrong. These are all the things that people are looking for in today's world.
We're up on a break again, so I want everybody to know that we're getting that video all queued up. So when we get out of that, we'll get that video called Disrupting the Banking Industry. So look for that. We'll be back with David DuByne. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's that time of year again. The TFNN Salvation Army Tiger Dollar Holiday Sale is back. Through this Sunday only, you can get a 25% bonus on any Tiger Dollar purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. This sale only comes around once a year and is one of the most rewarding promotions we have. Tiger Dollars are a great way to add extra savings to any TFNN product or service. Whether you're considering signing up for any newsletter or workshop in the future, or you're already a subscriber, Tiger Dollars offer an immediate savings on any TFNN newsletter, webinar, workshop, or Master Trader series. And they never expire and are fully transferable to friends and family. For all the details and to take part in this special promotion, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this sale ends Sunday, December 3rd. And happy holidays from TFNN. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Moving from cryptocurrencies into financial assets is often slow, tedious, and almost always expensive. Now there's an innovative solution to match the times: Anchorus. Anchorus is a platform where crypto holders can buy and sell any global exchange traded financial asset. This will include stocks, bonds, foreign exchange, commodities, and more, all using cryptocurrencies. The added beauty with Anchorus is that financial assets can also be tokenized, gaining all the advantages of blockchain technology while keeping the characteristics of the asset. Once tokenized, assets can be traded for any other tokenized asset, and the holder is free to redeem anytime they want. As a registered broker-dealer and regulated by the FCA, Anchorus will be unique in the space, with all assets insured and auditable. Anchorus, raising standards higher for a better crypto world.
Nice little video. David DuByne. We're live with David DuByne. And David, real quick.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
This is Mini Ice Age Conversations, episode number 38.
Oh, there we go. Hey,
today,
we're still playing a video there. Okay, so, hey, David, real quick, I want to run someone in our chat room wanted to know your bio a little bit, and so maybe I needed to do that real quick. David is based mostly in China, and he has worked as an agricultural commodities export broker, sales director in the electronics industry, and business development advisor for U.S. Import-Export Consultancy. He's the editor of oilseedcrops.org and of the popular YouTube station Adapt 2030. That is, he's both an advocate for innovative strategies to cope with agricultural issues from climate change. And as part of this work, he projects that cryptocurrency adoption and smart contracts will be key technologies tackling climate-invoked economic challenges, along with the digitization of financial assets. And he has joined the Anchorus team. I hope you enjoyed that little video. David, you know,
I'll say
tell people how they get involved with Anchorus.
Well, first thing I'll say is welcome to the future, because this is the way it's going to go. There will be the marriage between traditional finance and between the crypto space. It's coming whether you like it or not, but we're just going to lead the way into it. You can visit our page on chorus.org. That's where the ICO is currently running. And that's the way that you'll have to contribute, is using Ethereum. And once you have your Ethereum address, you go into the contribute page. We put a step-by-step guide in there to walk you through the process. And if you have any questions, you can contact me directly at dave@anchorus.org, D-A-V-E, at ANKORUS.org. I'll answer any of the questions that you have. And Nico, I wanted to come back to one point, if I could, with you.
Sure.
You talked about if there was a large CME during the grand solar minimum, what would happen if our terrestrial power grid goes down? How would we facilitate blockchain transactions?
Right.
We're not going to use the terrestrial power grid on Earth. We're going to take it off planet. The quantum satellite network, that's what China's launching into the sky. They're going to have a blockchain satellite network, and as we know, moving forward, they know what's coming with the Grand Solar Minimum. You can turn off the satellites when the CMEs come. So even if we get pounded on the ground and we lose a grid down here, the satellite transmission network will still stay intact, and the blockchain will still run above our heads. Quantum.
Oh, I get goosebumps on top of my goosebumps hearing that. So that's just, and quite frankly, if things went down, how would we trade stocks too? You know,
Right.
The idea is if you're not on the blockchain, you are going to be out of trouble because the money system is primarily digital anyways. How many of us carry dollars anymore? That's just great news to know that things are progressing in that way. And we've got some more chat room comments. People are really enjoying hearing you on here. Those that have been listening regularly know that we feature your work. And someone asked how we met and became familiar. Well, as I mentioned, Nico had been listening to you and introduced it to me, and we decided it was a real big part of our show because living a primal lifestyle is being aware, being prepared, and being collaborative and going back to that sense of tribalness where we work together. And that's something that I keep hearing from you in our conversations, which I enjoy very much, is we need to not stick our heads in the sand. We got to work together on all of this and collaborate and move and be adopters of this technology that may actually be a part of how we survive.
Yeah. That's true. We have to face the problem, and you have to know that there's a problem so you can quantify the problem, so you can start thinking about solutions to the problem. We have far better technology than they did in the 1600s or in the 1300s in the Wolf Minimum. We have different types of shipping systems now they didn't have back then. We have LED grow lights. We can put indoor growing. We can do vertical farming. They couldn't do that back then. There's a lot of different options available to us, but we need to acknowledge there's a problem. So the whole IPCC divisiveness of trying to continue this global warming so a small amount of people can continue to enrich themselves from this one small platform of CO2 driving the climate.
Yeah, time to drop that.
We need to face the facts that it could be something else driving. At least let's put it out for debate. They don't want to debate this. So there's something wrong if you don't want to debate and prove your point.
Yeah. And another thing, too, is what we have today is people like you and the Internet where we can spread this news. When I'm talking to my clients and things like that, I mean, nobody is really thinking about the Grand Solar Minimum unless you've already been informed about it and bought into it. That's why I listen to people like you and Suspicious Observer, because I really do feel this is coming. And, on days like this, when it's 80 degrees here in Florida and it's not too bad anyplace else, you don't think about those things. But here we have a great warning that this is coming from people like you and John Casey and many, many other people. So, thankful for the Internet right now, that's for sure.
That's right. It's a good source of information. The trumpet has been blown, so now it's time to be prepared and get prepared. And I think this is fascinating information, and I think as a person who's interested in the market and cryptos, I love the seamlessness that there's going to be available on this platform of being able to get in and out of these vehicles. And we hope that people will take advantage of going and registering, download the white paper for Ancoris, read over the website. I think you can do a drop down and let people know that you heard about it from us at TFNN, Paige, Clarke, and Nico. It should be something, or David's name, right, David?
No, that's fine. We've included a drop down for you there as well.
Fantastic. So we'll look.
And also, can I throw in a factoid here? You were talking about the Seminole Indians, the Seminole Native American Indians down in Florida. When it would snow in the Everglades and ice over at times, they called that the Great White Rain.
Oh, wow.
1600s. Yeah, look that up. That's an interesting factoid.
That's really cool.
Wow, the Great White Rain. So that just gives you an idea.
Yes.
Snow in the Everglades, folks. So what's it going to look like if you live in Kansas City?
Yeah.
And I was looking at some maps. Your website, Oilseed Crops, is just fantastic. I've been going back on the articles, but somehow it linked me to an interview you had with John Casey, and I was looking at the maps where, we're not necessarily expecting that most of America, for example, would be covered in a mile-thick ice sheet, which, could happen a little bit higher than that, but we're going to see the forever winter, perhaps, or maybe the snow never thaws type of thing. But this is not the point. What it is, we don't know exactly, but what we know is there's going to be a change, and in order to adapt to this change, we're going to have to be watching Adapt 2030 for sure.
That's for sure.
So we've got to take a break, David. We're going to have one last segment, and you just kind of lead the way when we get back. Tell us what we need to know. So we'll be right back. David DuByne, Adapt 2030, and advisor to Anchorus.org.
Yeah. In the meantime, go to the website and pick up the Health Signals newsletter and some Primal Edge, and be all set for the next couple of months.
That's right.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Paige Clarke, living a primal lifestyle with David DuByne of Adapt 2030 and Anchorus.org. Hey, David, I saw your article at your website, oilseedcrops.org. You said the Big Bang Theory, Bitcoin reality, and Anchorus. And what this has to do is, I guess, societal adoption is important. And I guess tonight, that popular television show, oh, hold on, what's
The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory is actually going to be featuring things about Bitcoin. And so I just wanted to put that out there. You know, when we start to see it coming on mainstream TV, you know, we can see the wave coming. But you take it from there, David.
Yeah, that's true. They need to get everybody in. And since everybody listening is familiar with numbers, currently the people who own cryptocurrency on the planet, 0.05%.
Wow. That's
literally 1/20th of 1% globally at the moment own it. We feel that it'll be at least 1% by the end of 2018. The CME, the projections and figures we'd seen, they want 80% adoption rate on cryptocurrency planet-wide. This includes other markets as well, and there'll be governmental issued like the digital yuan and then also the crypto ruble, this type of thing, and there'll be a digital Fed note eventually. But they want to get the adoption and usage rate at least at the minimum. They put 80%. So think about that. 0.05% of the world currently uses it, but they want to get it up to minimum 80%. Those are some massive, incredible, mind-boggling. It's really almost unfathomable to even think about the gains that would be coming in something like this if it truly gets to 80 or 90%.
It's huge. I mean, when you think about the opportunity right now to get involved in, so again, visit Enchorus.org, because right now you're in the initial launch of the token, and there's like a 50% bonus in the tokens if people start moving some of their assets over there. Is that right?
That's true, and it's only Ether at the moment, and we have a couple special announcements coming out next week that'll definitely make you more interested in what is happening. And plus, right now, Ethereum has gone to all-time highs, and people just don't want to part when things are going to skyrocketing all-time highs with Bitcoin and with Ethereum. Now, as it comes off later on in this week, before it spikes again when the CME launches, get some more traction.
Oh, yeah.
As well. So it's a cyclical thing as well.
And so people want to go make sure they go to the site and get subscribed for the newsletter, correct? And that's how they want to follow you on Facebook, follow you all on Twitter. You've got some great people keeping everyone updated.
So what is that website that they need to go to?
Enchorus.org.
Okay, great.
And
of course, David's website is oilseeds crops.org.
Yeah, oilseed crops.
And watch him on Adapt 2030 too. So. Excuse me, David, this has been just fabulously, informative. I know our listeners, I can see from the chat room that they're seeing this opportunity, and we want to just share that we're very interested in continuing the conversation with you. It's really a great time. I know you're 12 hours or so ahead of us. You're taking time from your dinner to join us, and we're just waking up. But let's continue this conversation. You very generously offered that the CEO of Enchorus would like to perhaps join us and maybe get Tom O'Brien on the show and join the conversation so we can really get our listeners part of that collaborative team.
We're all in this together. We
That's
truly are. So there's nowhere to run anywhere on this planet. We're all in this together.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate this, and this won't be the last time we have you on, with your permission, of course, and anybody else that is involved in this, we want to hear from them. So, well, we thank you very much. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to be having to sign off here shortly, and I see a bunch of people are really, they're looking up your website, and they're loving hearing this information. So I'll be getting back with you to schedule. We've got like a minute. You have any last parting words for us today, David DuByne?
I do. It's always about doing your own research, whether it be with the GrandSolarMinimum or your investment strategy for cryptocurrency. I encourage everybody to go to our site and take a look and see if it's right for you, see what we're offering, seeing how the new world of cryptocurrency is evolving. And also do your research on the GrandSolarMinimum to see how these two combine and intertwine.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
We'll be in touch.
Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Great day, everyone.
Basil Chapman will be hosting a full-day Master Trader class Friday, December 8th from 9 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. This live 7.5-hour online class will teach you the complete concepts of Basil's Chapman Wave trading methodology, along with a variety of indicators and charting patterns that Basil uses on a daily basis, including the concept of higher peaks and lower troughs, the importance of the peak D, buy and sell modes, sustaining rallies and declines, MACD, stochastic, moving averages, on-balance volume, and much more. Everyone that attends will also receive Basil's CD book introducing the Chapman Wave methodology, a $249 value, along with 1 month of his daily trading newsletter, The Opening Call, a $128 value. Basil will be using live charts where and when possible in the webinar to show the concepts of his trading methodology, which works on all time frames. For all the details and to reserve your spot today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.